All right, let's dive into India's incredible solar power journey. I mean, from these massive desert parks to panels on city rooftops, the country is embracing the sun like never before. But behind this whole green energy revolution, there's a really fascinating and complex puzzle. So let's unpack that.
And this, right here, is the central puzzle we're going to tackle. India has built a staggering amount of solar capacity. It's a global leader, no doubt. But for the folks who actually manage our electricity grid, solar power isn't quite the simple, predictable source you might think it is. So first, let's just talk about the dream. Because the scale of India's ambition to harness the sun is truly mind-blowing. And for good reason, right? It's a clean, abundant source of power, and it's helping the country move away from fossil fuels.
And if you want to put a number on that ambition, here it is. India has already installed over 80 gigawatts of solar capacity. That is a massive amount of power. I mean, it's enough to light up millions and millions of homes and businesses all across the nation. It's a testament to a huge national effort.
At its heart, the science is actually beautifully simple. Solar power works because of something called the photovoltaic effect. Basically, sunlight hits a solar panel, it gets electrons moving, and that movement creates an electric current. It's almost like magic.
And that's kind of the popular idea, isn't it? That solar is this straightforward, super elegant solution. You put some panels out in the sun, and you get clean electricity. And while that's true, the reality of weaving that into a national power grid is, well, it's a whole lot more complicated.
And this brings us right to the core of the puzzle. The sun is incredibly powerful, but it's not constant. And that variability, that intermittency as they call it, is the single biggest challenge for solar power.
So, let's imagine a huge solar park. One stretching across the desert, just basking in that bright midday sun. It's humming along at peak capacity, pumping a massive 1,000 megawatts of clean energy into the grid. Everything is going perfectly. And then, this happens. A big, thick cloud just rolls in, completely blocking the sun. It's a totally normal, everyday thing. But for the power grid, it's a sudden crisis. The electricity generation from that park doesn't just dip a little, it absolutely plummets.
The impact is immediate, and it is dramatic. The output can get slashed in half or even more in just a matter of seconds. All of a sudden, we've just lost 500 megawatts of power, and the grid still needs that power to meet everyone's demand.
And this is what makes solar so different from, say, a traditional coal or thermal power plant. A thermal plant is stable. It's predictable. You can control its output, turn it up or down as needed. Solar, on the other hand, is completely different. It's fast-changing and unpredictable. It works on nature's schedule, not ours. So you might be wondering, why does this unpredictability matter so much? Well, it matters because our entire electricity grid is this incredibly delicate, high-stakes balancing act. And solar's wild swings make that act much, much harder to pull off.
And this question gets at the most predictable, yet also the most challenging part of the day for the people managing the grid. It's a huge challenge they have to deal with every single evening.
Okay, let's just walk through it. First, the sun goes down, and just like that, all that solar power completely vanishes. At the exact same time, people are coming home from work, they're turning on their lights, their TVs, their air conditioners, so demand for power skyrockets just as a huge source of supply goes completely offline.
And this is the absolute non-negotiable law of the grid. The amount of power being generated has to perfectly match the amount being used. In real time, every single second. Any imbalance, even a tiny one, can cause massive problems. That perfect balance is what keeps the grid's frequency stable, right at 50 Hz here in India. If generation is more than demand, the frequency goes up. If demand is more than generation, it drops. Either way, if it moves too far from that 50 Hz sweet spot, it can trigger instability and lead to widespread blackouts.
So the challenge is clear. It's a big one, but the story doesn't end there. In fact, this is where it gets really interesting, because India is pioneering some incredibly clever solutions to tame solar's wild nature and build a smarter, more resilient grid.
So the solution isn't just one single thing, it's really a whole toolkit of strategies. First, you've got advanced solar forecasting that uses AI and satellite data to predict where clouds are going, giving grid operators a heads up. Second, you have flexible power sources like hydro and gas plants on standby, ready to ramp up in minutes when solar power dips. Third, and this is the real game changer, is energy storage. We're talking giant batteries and pumped hydro systems that can save that daytime solar power to be used at night. And finally, you have green energy corridors being built to move all that solar power from sunny states to the places where it's needed most. So, this brings us to the final and maybe the most crucial question. After seeing everything, the huge potential and the immense challenges, is solar power by itself the complete solution to our energy needs?
And the answer is pretty clear. The future isn't just about solar panels, it's about solar plus storage. The true revolution here lies in combining solar generation with robust energy storage solutions. That's the combo that will finally unlock the sun's full potential, making clean energy reliable day or night. It's not just about capturing the sunlight anymore, it's about making sure it's there for us whenever we need it.